You not listening to another episode of the Renegade Podcast, and I'm interviewing the one and only, the Universe Galaxy. He is a basketball YouTuber. He talks about baseball. He talks more on the side of the old school side of things, but he's not, again, you can see on his channel, he's not a Michael Jordan stan or whatever. So yeah, it's sort of an interesting perspective. So yeah, how's your day, man?
It's doing good, man. Thanks for yours, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, great.
Alright. So my first question is, what was the inspiration behind your channel's name and logo?
Yeah, the name one is kind of a boring story, so I wouldn't even go by that. Actually, the picture just goes with the name, and I just like the picture.
Okay.
It's kind of a boring story, so I won't even waste your time. It'll just bore your audience. Trust me.
You could tell it. I'm cool with it.
Okay, well, basically, all right. I knew when I made the page, I noticed a lot of people on YouTube had a lot of random names. Just like it didn't mean anything. Like somebody will have. I'll just make up an example. Let's say someone had a page where they were reviewing TV programs, and they'll call themselves Grass Blue 28. Or whatever. So I thought, okay, random names might be interesting. And I know, the name, the Universe Galaxy sounds good. It's Universe, Galaxy, the Universe, well, sounds good. And then, it's, then I thought, okay, since I'm having that name, might as well have a picture of a galaxy. I like the picture of the galaxy.
Okay.
I like the way it was blue. And so on, So that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else to it.
Okay. The first thing I noticed was, it's funny because I've been following your channel for a little while. It's funny. One of your more popular videos, probably your most popular videos, Larry Bird talking about, if Steph Curry is the greatest three-point shooter of all time, and, the whole, again, conversations were going on and everything in the comments. And it's very interesting. You right away said, like, I'm not a Michael Jordan, like, stan or a fan or whatever. Like, when you were creating the channel, was that the priority? Like, you're sort of an old school NBA fan that's not sort of beholden to sort of Jordan's sort of image, or was that something that kind of came along with it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I don't even consider myself an old school fan or new school fan. I'm just a fan of sports.
Okay.
So I'm not one of the people that goes, in this time it was the best, and today it sucks, or today it's the best, and back then it sucks. Sports is sports. You just like sports or you don't, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much into these things. Now, when I made this page, it had nothing to do with Michael Jordan. Nothing. I was just putting up stuff. As time passed, for many, many different reasons, well, it wasn't that many, but just a few different reasons, I started to go, okay, you know what? Let's put some stuff about Michael Jordan fans, because they truly are the worst sports fans of all time.
Okay.
There's sports fans, and then there's Michael Jordan fans.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's a very interesting answer. How did you sort of land on that conclusion? Was it something that you noticed because I don't know how long you've been a fan for, but again, was that something you noticed on sort of online or in real life discourse, or was this something that you always thought?
No, I didn't always think this. No one is like, obviously, when you're a sports fan, you don't start thinking right away, oh, dude, hey, Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time. This is something that you learn over time. In many places, you learn how they are on TV. You learn how they are on the radio.
Yeah.
You learn how they are, on the internet and so on. It just becomes drops of water adding up in a bucket, and then you put it together and you go, man, they really are the worst sports fans of all time. Like, I'll give you an example. This is one random example, okay?
Okay.
I watch ESPN, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, and they'll say something like this. I don't have the exact words. They say something like this, Michael Jordan should have won MVP every year he was in the NBA, and the only reason he didn't was because they were tired of voting for him. I've never heard any group of sports fans say something like that about any athlete. I'll even give you another example. I'll give you another one. Okay, they'll go by rings. These people love rings, supposedly. And then when Bill Russell wins rings, they'll go, well, those rings don't really count because he didn't play in the modern NBA. I've never heard sports fans say these type of things about another guy they like or girl they like and another guy they're not into or girl they're not into.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying there's no one else in the world who has questionable takes. There are. But there's no one close to Michael Jordan fans. They have the most, I mean, there's so many things about them that just make them different from all the other fans, and different in a questionable way. They are the worst sports fans of all time, you know?
Okay. Interesting. If you don't mind me asking this might be a little bit of a personal question, but how old are you?
Yeah, I figured. No, I don't mind the question, but I tell this to everyone on my page. I actually don't tell people stuff like that. I don't want them to have any clues about anything to do with me.
All right.
Just so you know. Yeah, I hope you understand.
Okay.
When you have a popular page, you got to be careful what information you give out. You know?
Okay, it's okay.
There's other reasons too. That's not the only reason, but that is the main reason. You want to make sure they don't have your information.
All right. Okay.
There's other reasons too, but those are lesser reasons.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So,
why'd you ask? I just wondering why'd you ask?
I was just asking because I usually just ask that question because I interview people from sort of different ages and different I was interviewing a guy who was almost 50 a couple weeks ago, and I was shocked that he was that age. So it was okay. So I assumed that you were around that age range, just going off your voice. I might be completely wrong.
I sound 50, around 50. Wow.
Yeah, maybe I'm not good at sort of age detection through voice, but.
Oh, okay. No, okay, so you're not sure. Okay, no, because hardly anyone ever I don't think anyone's ever told me I sound 50 unless you're talking smack. Oh, you're just making up stuff. Okay, no, if you're not sure, that's different. But no, I don't think I sound 50, around 50. No.
Okay.
If you want to know how about this, I'm definitely under 50.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. All right. Okay, so. It's interesting the way that your channel works.
I'm not even close to 50. How about that?
Okay. So it's very interesting the way that your channel works. Is that it's because a lot of your content is not you're not talking much of your content. You're just letting the clips sort of play out, and I like that. Was that always the intention, or did you have something else in mind while you're sort of creating the channel?
Yeah, great question. No, it was both. Like most people who make a YouTube page, I'm saying most, I don't even know if it's true. I assume it's true. Most people, when they make a YouTube page, they want people to know their takes. So yeah, I always had a thing about, hey, let's make a page and share my takes. But when I made this channel, my intention was not, if I remember correctly, I'm not even sure now because it's been a couple of years or so. I don't think when I made this page, my intention was, hey, I'm only going to make videos where it's just me going over takes, or I'm only going to make videos where it's me just showing clips. If I remember correctly, I think it was both. I wanted to show clips, show people stuff. I wanted them to feel entertained and informed, but I also wanted to share my takes, and hopefully they would feel entertained and informed. So it was both. I think most people, when they make a YouTube page, they want to do both, right? Show their takes and put other stuff too.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. I do have desires to make other pages where it's just me sharing my takes. And I've actually made some, which I won't bring them up right now. I do have some other pages where it's just me sharing my takes. And then I have another page or other pages where I'm not sharing any takes. Like, for example, I have a music page where I just put music and I'm not sharing my takes. Then I have another comedy page where it's mostly me sharing my take, hardly any other clips of other people's videos. And this page is off. This page is showing clips and showing my takes.
Okay. Interesting. So, I'm considering how long these videos are. I'm assuming these videos don't take that long to make, or I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, it depends, man. So I actually consider the process of getting the videos. Getting the videos takes time. You got to first, of course, find the videos. Then you got to go through the videos to get the stuff you want. And sometimes the stuff is there's no good stuff. Then you got to get permission. Then, of course, you got to edit them. And then, of course, the uploading and all that. So it does take time. That's why at the end of my videos, I tell people I spend a lot of time getting these videos. Please subscribe. But it definitely takes time. I used to put longer videos. I actually did that. I used to have much longer videos and really good stuff. I made a decision for different reasons not to put any more longer videos, or I'm going to not to put as many longer videos, but once in a while, I will put the longer videos. Now, when it comes to my personal stuff, where I'm giving my takes, then they'll it doesn't matter to me if they're short or long. Whatever's needed, I'll put in the video.
Yeah. Interesting. So, let's sort of kind of circle back to what I was sort of originally sort of talking about is that how can I say this? So, we're in the off season in the NBA. OKC won the title, and Shea had an incredible season. People are bringing up again. Did he had the greatest guard season since the Last Dance, Michael Jordan, right? And obviously, you got the Jordan guys thinking, "Oh, of course not, no way." You got people saying, "Yeah." So, where do you land on something like that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Great questions, man. There is no such thing in general. I'm not saying it's 100%. There is no such thing as this guy is number one, this guy is number two, this guy is number three, and so on. It's just people making things up in their head. And the funny thing is, if this is not funny enough, even let's say I'm wrong. Let's say there really is a 1, a 2, a 3, and whatever the topic is. The people who come up with these rankings, they're not even consistent in their own criteria.
Yeah.
I'll give you a great example, and this is what Michael Jordan fans do. You know the analytic PER?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of Michael Jordan fans will love to tell you, at the time when Michael Jordan was number one in PER, hey bro, look, Michael Jordan is number one in PER. Well, that's another example. He's a number one NBA player of all time. Okay, I'm down with that. I'm not really down with that. I'm being sarcastic. Okay, I'm down with that. Now, ask those same people, who do you rank as number two? Who do you rank as number three? And so on. And then ask them, does PER have the same list as you? And when you ask them these questions, they either don't know, or they don't care, or they don't change their mind, or maybe they'll change their mind, but they'll still do the same type of things. In other words, their own criteria of, hey, go by PER, they're not even consistent in going by PER when they rank the rest of their list.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. One more example I'll give you. If they say scoring. Scoring is the name of the game. This is what they always love to say. Scoring is the main thing.
Yeah.
How do you win a game in basketball? You score more points than the other team, and so on. Okay, so they want to go by scoring to rank players. All right. They are not consistent in their own take, because when they rank who's number two, who's number three, and so on, they're not going by scoring. So there's an inconsistency in their own take.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, because it's funny because you did have a debate with this guy named Johnny Arnett, which again I like him.
Typical Michael Jordan lover.
Yeah, and there's this other YouTuber. I don't know if he will ever do this, but this is a guy that goes by the name of Angry Old Hoops Fan. You must know who I'm talking about.
I don't know. I've heard people come to my page and told me about him. I don't really know much about him. From what I know, from what they tell me, he seems to be a typical Michael Jordan fan.
Okay.
And I was also told, by the way, they reached out to him to ask him if he wants to go on my program or invite me on his program, or both, and he never follows up. As far as he told me that. In fact, I'm putting this out there, man, for you or anyone else there. There are a ton of people out there who are Michael Jordan lovers who know about my page, and they know they can go on my program, and they know they can invite me on their program, and they will not do it. Take a guess why.
Yeah. It's something that I always bring this up because it's so funny. I actually had an interaction with that guy on one of his comment pages, right? So it was a video about, like, he was going after LeBron. I think it was like last year. It was like the Lakers lost against Denver in the first round, right? And I said like something like, like, I don't really like how y'all talk about, other people and all this, that, and Thursday. And he's like, he comes in, right? He pops into this conversation, right? And it's a civil conversation-ish, right? He's like, he says something along the lines of like, he says something like, he essentially called me a LeBron stan. And I'm like, I'm not even talking about the guy, and you're accusing me, right, of something that I'm not. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why do you think that some of the Jordan fans they love doing that? Like, why is that the case?
No. You're a LeBron sexual. You're a Le-3-6 fan. You're a La Mafia, whatever.
Yeah.
La China fan, all that. I have never seen in any sport, where a group of fans pick a guy, and then if you don't pick that guy, they automatically assume that you must pick this guy, and then they bring up that guy's name in a negative way, and then they make fun of you and give you these nicknames. Like, for example, have you ever heard someone say, hey, bro, hey, man, I don't think Babe Ruth is the greatest baseball player of all time. And then they go, oh, you must be a Hank Aaron sexual. Like, no, who does that? It's only Michael Jordan fans.
Yo.
Now, why do they do that? Many reasons. Many reasons. It's a long list of reasons. You want the whole long list? It was long.
You can give me some. Like, I got time.
I'll give you 3 reasons. In no particular order.
Okay.
They are not educated on the NBA.
Okay.
They're not smart people.
Okay.
And they have come to the conclusion they're influenced by the media. So these are 3 reasons, and there's a lot more reasons. A lot more.
Interesting. So when you mean by, like, because obviously, like, for me, like, the media is very, like, I feel like they pump up everybody, then they tear down everybody. But it just seems like, but there are a couple people that kind of, like, hold at a higher sort of pedestal. And Jordan is definitely part of that pedestal. But I would argue someone like, I'm assuming, do you watch the NFL?
Do I hear a bell?
The NFL.
Oh, the NFL. Okay, yeah. I'm not a big fan. I think the NFL should be banned.
Okay. I would argue, you must have heard of Tom Brady, right? I would argue Tom Brady has now entered that class of where anybody can do anything. And it feels like, you know what? But he's not Tom Brady. And it's like, it's not as annoying because Tom Brady just retired a couple years ago. But I have a funny feeling that it's going to get to that degree regardless of what happens in the next, 10, 15 years. Right? So...
With Tom Brady?
With Tom Brady, yeah. But,
wow.
Can you sort of elaborate on the sort of media aspect of the sort of the Jordan kind of thing?
Yeah. Most of the media is made up of Michael Jordan fans. Forget the media. Most fans in this world, whether they're experts on basketball or casual basketball fans or not that into basketball, most of them, if they have a tape, who's the number 1 NBA player of all time, they're going to go with Michael Jordan. Either because they believe it, they assume it, they're just, I don't know, they're just, hey, all the other people think Michael Jordan, maybe it's him or something like that. So if most fans are like this, it's not going to change in the media. Most of the media is full of Michael Jordan. And there's evidence. If you look at all the big dogs, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, Chris Bussard, Skip Bayless, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and so on, the majority of these people pick Michael Jordan. So the other factors, a lot of people in the media, 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on. So some of them grew up with Michael Jordan. They have a bias for the time they grew up, the 1980s and 1990s.
Yeah.
And then as people get older, a lot of people as they get older, they're not as into certain things as they used to be when they were younger. So
yeah.
They're not in the TV programs as much. They're not in the sports as much. They're not in the movies as much, and so on. So in their mind, they'll go, well, today's NBA, it's not as good as it used to be back in the day. And then these same people will go, oh, I don't watch today's NBA. Well, how do you know it's not as good if you don't watch it,
Yeah.
And what's also funny about these people is when they were growing up, when they were kids, they had old people tell them all the time, hey, guys, back in my day it was tougher, and you guys today, you guys are soft and have it easier, and you guys are ridiculous and all that. And they didn't agree with those old people, and now they're older, and they're doing the same thing, and they don't even realize it. Or they do realize it, and they don't care. But anyway, to your point about the media does push Michael Jordan more than anyone else. They love Michael Jordan. Some of them may not actually believe it, but they know it gets them clicks and money.
Yeah.
Or maybe they got a memo from higher ups or some thing like, hey, we got to push Michael Jordan. Because, Michael Jordan, he's popular. He's loved. He has a lot of business with certain companies. And there's a million other examples. But you get the point. And then what ends up happening is people get influenced by it. Some people just don't know any better. Some people go, well, everyone's picking Michael Jordan, so maybe maybe it's true, and so on. I mean, there's just so many reasons, man. I don't want to bore you and your audience, but there's so many things.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? You mentioned that because, out of all because I look at it as like kind of like degrees of things, right? There's the people who don't mess with Jordan. Like I look at someone like Nick Wright, and you can tell he's not a Jordan guy. Like he's
a Michael Jordan lover. No, he is.
Huh?
I interrupted you, so I want you to finish. I just want to put that out there. Go ahead.
Okay, right. You have someone like Chris Broussard again, who's pure pro Jordan, right? He's pro Jordan. There's no again whatever, right? And there's someone like Stephen A. And then there's someone like Skip Bayless who worships the ground he walks on. Those guys are just the cringiest dudes ever because they try to apply those same things to other things that are not to Jordan, and it doesn't fit, right? It's so funny. Skip Bayless, it was Skip and Gilbert Arenas and this cornerback played for Denver Broncos, and they did this, and Jay Gruden, I think, they do this football show. They started this new football show, right? It's called the Arena Gridiron. It's part of Gilbert Arenas growing podcast empire, right? And no word, I watched the Shadur, because was talking about Shadur Sanders, right? I don't know you know who that is, but talking about him, and Skip Bayless, I'm not even kidding here. Skip Bayless literally said, man, Shador, man, he has that killer instinct. I'm like, what? I'm like, whoa. I'm just like, what are you talking about?
Right. What are they talking about, I don't even know, by the way, if Skip Bayless means everything he says, because, some of the things he comes up with are so silly and make no sense, which most Michael Jordan fans do those things, but he takes it to a certain level where it's like, can't be that serious. I think he's partly putting on an act, and I think he's partly putting on a show because they have a debate show. Yeah. But he could mean all that. I don't know. Yeah. But no, the other guy, Nick Wright, this is actually a great thing to bring up. What is the definition of a Michael Jordan fan? A Michael Jordan fan, I'll give you an example. Let's say there's two guys.
Yeah.
And they all think the same things. Oh, rings. Oh, scoring titles. Oh, number one era, Michael Jordan played in number one era, and so on. Everything is the same, but there's one difference. One guy picks Michael Jordan number one, and the other guy picks Michael Jordan number two.
Yeah.
In other words, they're the same guys. It's just a difference of a small difference in ranking. That's Nick Wright. That's Nick Wright. Nick Wright, even though he doesn't pick Michael Jordan as the greatest, he thinks LeBron James is better. He thinks LeBron James, I think, is the greatest. I'm not sure. Yeah. It doesn't matter. But pretty much everything else is the same in-line stuff with other Michael Jordan fans. So whenever you hear this debate, oh, that's a LeBron James fan. No. Most likely that LeBron James fan is a Michael Jordan fan. Don't believe me? Ask the LeBron James fan, hey, do you go by rings? Or, hey, do you think that analytics are reliable? Or, hey, do you think, you don't rank Michael Jordan number one? Where do you rank him? Do you rank him number two, number three, or somewhere in their top? And so on. You're going to find out they're all part of the journey. They're Michael Jordan fans.
Okay. That's interesting. That's an interesting perspective.
Otherwise, what's the difference? What is the difference? One guy picks Michael Jordan 1, the other guy picks Michael Jordan 2. What's the difference?
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up because, it's something that I've been noticing that, again, you said you had a music channel, right? You must have heard of Kendrick Lamar, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I would argue that the Kendrick fans, especially what happened last year and his whole beef with Drake, they're reaching what you said about Jordan. They're reaching that. I would argue it might be a little bit worse. I saw a tweet. Again, it was nothing to do with Kendrick. All they were doing was shit talking Lil Wayne. It was just what?
My thing is not about the worst fans. My things are the worst sports fans.
Yeah.
So worst fans, that's a whole different thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they are no doubt. I can back this up, show the evidence. They are the worst sports fans of all time. It's actually simple to figure it out. All you got to do is just count. Count how many things do Michael Jordan fans come up with where anything, they deny facts, contradict themselves, cherry pick things or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you start counting down the list, you're going to find out no one's even close to them. It's not even close.
Yeah.
There's Michael Jordan fans, and then there's everyone else. They're the worst sports fans of all time.
Yeah. I'll bring up another guy that...
All right.
I'll bring up another guy that's not really in the conversation, his fan base. I'll say Giannis Antetokounmpo's fan base is really bad. For a lot of the same reasons you're saying, right?
I bet you most of them picked Michael Jordan number 1 or 2 or somewhere.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like you said, I got banned. Do you use Reddit?
I don't use it, but once in a while when I search online, something will pop up. I'll open it.
Okay, bro. No kid, bro. This guy. I don't know what did he do to his family? Because it literally anytime, bro. Granted, I sometimes I make some little bit of sort of snarky comments about him from time to time, but I feel like I'm anytime it feels like he can't be criticized on Reddit. He gets criticized online on Twitter and stuff, but like it feels like it's the same thing there, like you said, right? Like it's like they have this idea of him as a player, and then you watch him play, and it's like, what am I watching here, right? Like Shaq called him Superman, but he can't even win a playoff series since the title, mind you, in maybe the weakest, like not even the weak, like in a conference that's considered the weakest out of the East and West, right? And you had the whole Damian Lillard thing blow up in his face, right? He wanted Adrian Griffith, that didn't work. Then they were saying that he wanted Doc Rivers. Now that's not working, right? And then they bring in Miles Turner, and now people are saying, well, this team can make a finals run. I'm like, what are you talking about here, right? And then you have the whole, like, press conference, like, there's no such thing as failure. I'm like, what? Like, it's just, again, I don't know how you feel about that, but that's my perspective on it.
Well, you got to be careful with some of that. Like, for example, like when you say you can't win a playoff game, not the exact words, but something like that, you know, that's the kind of thing a Michael Jordan fan would say. One guy doesn't win and lose.
Right. You know, it's again, it's
this guy won, this guy lost.
Yeah. You know, it's just like, again, like, you know, it might be a weird comparison, but it's something that, you must know who this guy is. You must know Marlon Brando, right? He said something very, very interesting. This is like, I think in the 90s. He did this interview where he was talking to like a reporter, right? They're at his house in LA, right? And he said something so interesting. He said that, you know, the great sickness in America is that we talk about things in such extremes. You know, who's the best, who's worse, who's number 1, who's number 25, or whatever, right? And it's just, he ended on something very profound. He said, like, everyone has value at the end of the day. I would add on to, like, everybody has value. It's up to that person if they use it positively or negatively. And that's how I sort of see things in that way.
I think there's a lot of scientists who explained why humans do this because, like, for example, sometimes things are so big and complicated in the universe. So for us humans to understand, we make subjects, categories, we rank, we put them in a certain way to help us understand what's the best TV show, what's the best movie, what's the best color, what's the best food, what's the best song, what's the best food. There's certain things we do to make it easier. But then sometimes, you know, you realize that not everything is better or worse. It just is. Yeah. Action, reaction, cause, effect.
Yeah.
Like if Mars bangs into Venus, it doesn't have to be necessarily good or bad. It's just that's what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time.
Yeah. So, like, it's interesting because I was going to ask you about, like, who you think is, like, the GOAT, but it seems like you don't really believe in that concept. But who was a player that you liked watching from your sort of...
Great question. There's no such thing as the greatest NBA player of all time, but there are players who are better than other players, and there's no doubt that there are lots of players who are better than Michael Jordan.
Okay.
I don't think he's number 1, number 2, number 3. I don't think he's top 10. I don't think he's top 20. I don't think he's top 30, and so on. There are a lot of players better than him. And I think your other question was, who did I like growing up?
Yeah.
Well, if I tell you that, then I'm going to give you an idea of when I grew up, so I don't want to do that. But I don't have any, like, favorite player. I like learning about lots of players, to be honest. I don't have any favorite player right now.
Okay.
Again, there are lots of players. Okay. Lots of players who are better than Michael Jordan. Okay. Wilt Chamberlain basically said that. He was asked about this. He said something like, I don't think Michael Jordan was better than Oscar Robertson, Elgin Baylor, Bill Russell, and a number of players.
You know, it's funny, you know, it's interesting you mentioned that because, again, it's you know, with sort of time passing and, you know, more technology is being brought forward and, you know, nutrition and it's more styles of play and offenses are getting more complex and defenses have to sort of catch up to that as well. I realize that I don't think most people are comprehending what these guys right now are doing right now, right? it's always, again, like you said, it's always we have to quantify, we have to put these people in categories instead of just appreciating what they're doing, right? I look at someone like,
who are these people? Who are these people? The majority of people who hate on today's NBA. Look at the pattern.
Yeah.
Most of these people who say today's NBA is soft, all they do is stand around. They just shoot three-pointers and so on. There's a pattern.
Yeah.
The majority of these people pick Michael Jordan number 1 or 2 or 3 or somewhere near there, and they'll tell you about the rings, the 10 scoring titles, how his era was the best, and so on. In other words, you can't really find that many other people who do these things when they question today's NBA. How do you explain that?
Yeah.
It's because they're Michael Jordan fans. They're influenced by the media. They're not educated on the NBA and so on.
You know, it's one of those things like, you know, because I was gonna bring up the NFL. Because I look at someone like Lamar Jackson, right? You must know who Lamar Jackson is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I look at what he's doing, right? I look at here's a crazy stat that I found. Like every season, right? This is going back to college. Every season that he plays a full season, he's on the MVP ballot. At some way or somehow he's on the ballot, except for 1 year, which was 2020, and that was during a pandemic. So that was a weird year in general. But again, he won the Heisman in 2016. He was top 3 2017. Then he won the MVP 2019. Then he won the MVP 2023. And then he finished second literally last year, despite him finishing first team All-Pro. I don't know how that's even possible, but whatever. Right? And yet the conversation is, he's just, again, historically, this guy's better than that guy. I'm like, are you watching what he's doing? Like, if you're going to qualify somebody off of one game, because the way it works in the NFL is it's one game, right? In the playoffs, right? You win or you lose. That type of thing, right? And Greg, look, is Lamar great at playoffs? No, he's not. I bet he could tell you that. But to act like it's such a factor that he can't be better than someone else who won a ring or whatever, to me is kind of anti-sports, but that's just my opinion on it.
Well, actually, it's you're making a claim on it. Oh, I see what you're saying. I guess that is an opinion. Yeah, voting should never be used to figure out who's better than who. Yeah. Voting is just going by whatever people vote. You can't rely on people voting. And if you're gonna go by voting, you got to be consistent. You got to now agree with every voting that happened and every voting that didn't happen. In other words, if you start saying, hey, look, I think voting is reliable, I think they mostly get it right, or they always get it right, then you can't end up going, well, hey, this guy here, he should have been the MVP, but he didn't win it, and those voters don't make sense. Or like Rod Strickland, he's an all-star even though he never made the all-star team. Or, hey, Kobe Bryant was the best player in the basketball league for all these years, and yet he won the MVP once. And I could give you more examples, but you get the point. You got to be consistent. And many people on many topics, they pick and choose what they want to go by and when they want to go by. I tell my audience this so many times. When you have a serious debate with someone, I'm not talking like a light debate like, oh, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite city? What's your favorite food? And so on. No, I'm talking a serious debate. Try not to debate people on their guesses, beliefs, opinions, and assumptions, because usually nobody's right or wrong. If you start debating those things, you might as well debate what's a better color, blue or green? And if you do that, nobody's right or wrong. So when you have a debate on a serious topic, try to stick to two things. What are the facts, and are you being consistent? If you stick to those two things, you're going to get a lot of answers. I'm not saying you're going to get all the answers. There's some things you may never get the answers on, but you're going to get a lot of answers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. Because it's funny because, again, it's the same thing with, again, it's people using Oscars or Grammys or whatever, saying, this person's better than this person. I'm like, you're kind of missing the point here. Right? Like, judge them on the art that they make. Don't judge them on the cosmetic stuff. That's the cherry on top. That's not the whole cake. That's not the whole meal. Right? So it's like, like, how can we solve this? Like, because it feels like, again, it just keeps getting worse. Like, you know,
well,
so
one thing you could do is you could start explaining this to people, and that's one of the reasons I do live streams now, that I'm trying to give people information. There's nothing wrong with beliefs. Beliefs are okay. I have beliefs, and it's okay it's a good thing to have beliefs sometimes. But you don't act like you're right and someone's wrong based on your beliefs.
Yeah.
You got to be able to prove something, and then you got to be consistent. You can't, like, for example, you can't be like, you know, hey guys, it's bad to eat unnatural food, and then you go to these places and buy unnatural food, or you start, you know, giving other people unnatural food. Like I'm not saying you have to be perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Most people make mistakes. Most people contradict themselves. Most people, you know, don't always go by their facts and so on. But you do the best you can. But a lot of people, take any topic, take politics, take sports, take I don't know, the space and all that. They pick and choose what they want to go by and what they don't want to go by. You ever hear a debate with a scientist and a conspiracy theorist? The conspiracy theorist will tell you, we can't trust scientists. Okay, fine. And then when it helps the conspiracy theorists, then they'll bring up scientists.
yeah,
Well, what are you doing? You going by scientists? You're not going by scientists. Now, they might say, well, some scientists are reliable and some are not. Okay, how do you know? Where's your proof? Well, you know what it is? You know, we got to go by the majority. Okay, well, the majority of scientists don't agree with you and so on. You got to go by facts and you got to be consistent, because if you don't, you're just going by whatever you want then.
okay, interesting. So now my question is to you, right? This NBA season is going to be coming up in a month and a half. Again, this off season has been just slow for whatever reason. There hasn't really been a lot of like earth shattering moves, as again they're promised by the people, you know, all that stuff. Who do you think is going to win the title? Who okay,
I have no idea. I mean, Atlanta did pretty good, I think.
Okay.
But I have no idea who's going to, you know, win. I have no idea, man.
Okay.
I can tell you that Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time. They really are.
Okay.
In fact, any Michael Jordan lover out there, if you disagree with me on anything, please, you're welcome to go on my show. I'll go on your show. We can do both.
Okay.
Man,
What team? Okay.
All
right. So what team do you see that could win the title that people aren't really talking about? You mentioned Atlanta. That's actually a good pick, because that's a good team. Like, finally.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't think I'm gonna have any different things. Some people will say Houston did pretty well. LA added somebody, but then you got LeBron James, who is older. I mean, Lakers. I mean, there's just no way to know, man. I mean, it's just playing guessing games. I have no idea.
All right. Okay. Interesting. So you mentioned LeBron, right? What's your view on LeBron as a player, like not as a person or whatever?
Yeah, no, this is incredible what this man is doing. Incredible, and he's still in the NBA at his age.
Yeah.
He's still playing at a high level.
Yeah.
He's still playing lots of minutes. He's still putting up great statistics. He's still at an all-star level. Yeah. He's still at a Hall of Fame level. He's still a great leader, a great team player. It seems he's still an all-around player. He is. There's no such thing as perfect, but he is pretty much the whole package.
Yeah.
Clearly better than Michael Jordan. To act like Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James, I don't know what people are going by in any sport, okay? Any sport, baseball, basketball, football, whatever. The player who brings more to the table is a better player. For example, baseball. If you got speed, that's great. If you got an arm, that's better. If you could jump, that's better, and so on. So apply that logic in basketball. The more you bring to the table, the better you are. And LeBron James is clearly a better player than Michael Jordan. Although if you listen to Michael Jordan fans, Michael Jordan has 6 rings, and he played the number 1 NBA era of all time.
Yeah.
I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, okay, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, but I have no problem with LeBron James as a player. I noticed there's 4 type of people who don't like LeBron James. Okay, 4 type of people, in no particular order. Michael Jordan fans.
Okay.
Old people who don't like changes to the world, like, these young punks. Back in my day, things are better. Things are getting worse now and all that. right-wing wackos, and racist people.
Yeah.
These are usually the four people who don't like LeBron James.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree on that. I agree on that. You know, this...
By the way, in case you want some fun here, I think Giannis is better than Michael Jordan. I think Jokic is better than Michael Jordan, and so on.
Okay. All right. You know, it's obviously, you know, a lot of things have happened, you know, since, again, like 2020. Like 2020, that season in general, that season kind of holds a special place because, again, it was the pandemic season and, you know, watching basketball when everybody's at home, literally, they're playing in a bubble and the whole thing about that. You know, it's funny, like, seeing, like, the conversations when that happened and then when the Lakers won, right? And I knew this was going to happen. Like, here's the thing. I wasn't really following the NBA avidly as I am now back then. Like, I started following the NBA literally when the Raptors won the title. Like, I knew about the NBA, I knew about the players, but I wasn't following it game by game, week by week. I wasn't reading up on what people were saying. When the Lakers won, right, and LeBron got that Finals MVP, he was lifting the trophy, I could tell you right then and there, I'm like, okay, they're going to discredit it right then and there. And it's been the same narrative, right? The Lakers haven't gotten close, yada, yada, yada. And look, okay, like, you know, there have been some things that the front office has done that has not made any sense, right? Like, trading for Westbrook I love Westbrook, but, like, that was just stupid. Like, that was just dumb. Like, anybody who has to see that this was not going to work, right? And then they got Luka, and then you know how people are with that. Like, you know, what's your view on people sort of, you know, putting asterisks on titles and saying this title didn't count and that person's ring doesn't count? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no. First we have to ask ourselves who's doing it.
Yeah.
Again, it's usually the four groups, and in the NBA world, it's usually Michael Jordan fans. You don't find too many people who, let's say, pick Jerry West as the greatest. Says, I don't like this. This is an asterisk. It's usually the people who are either born and raised when Michael Jordan played, 1980s, 1990s, or younger people who think the same things that they think. The 1980s and 1990s was the best era. Michael Jordan's the best. 6 rings is more, you know, is a big, you know, is a thing they should use ranked third and so on. Now, once we get past that, who's doing it? I made a video on this, how they will nitpick everything LeBron James does where he can't win. Look at the pattern. Look, he cannot win no matter what he does. If he shoots the ball in the clutch, this is not a good leader, not a good team player. Why doesn't he pass? He's a ball hog. If he passes the ball in the clutch, look, he don't got that dog in him. He don't got that killer instinct. Why didn't he take the shot? Why is he scared? He passed the ball. He doesn't want to win.
Yeah.
He's not a good leader. He's not a good team player. If he has great statistics, oh look, he got great statistics, but he didn't win a ring. If he won a ring, oh yeah, he won a ring, but his statistics weren't that good. If he plays basketball with children to help them, oh look, he's dominated against kids. He thinks he's all that. If he doesn't play basketball with kids, oh look, he can't give back to the community. This guy got it all. He can't help out. He can't give time for the kids. If he has hair on his head, fake hair.
Yeah.
If he's bald, oh look at his bald. If he dresses with baggy pants, he's stuck in the past. He don't know what's good stylish. If he wears tight pants, look at this, wearing tight pants like a girl. Look at how he dresses. He's not married. This is what the NBA is no longer a guy's league. I'll give you one more.
Yeah.
What's the other one? If he gives his take on something going on in the world, man, why are you telling people what you think about something else? Just play basketball. We don't want to know your takes. Just keep it up. You know, why are you forced? Why are you trying to bring up something that no one's asking you or no one wants to know or cares about or whatever? If he doesn't bring up something that's happening in the world, look at him. He can't be nice to the world. He can't give back. He can't be helpful. He can't try to make things better. They put him in a situation where no matter what he does, he loses. He cannot win. They nitpick everything about him, and they just basically point the finger at him.
Yeah. It's funny actually you mentioned that because I feel like, granted, like, I don't know how you feel about this person, but have you heard of Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you this right now. The last couple years, what you're saying, they've been doing the same exact thing to her. Like, the same exact thing. Like, it's actually kind of crazy because you're sort of explaining, I'm like, they're saying the same exact thing. And she's not even perceived to be, as good as LeBron or whatever, right? At what she does, right? And it's like, at what point, what do you want? I bet you what they want. They want someone that is controlled. They want someone that does not, like, again, like there's a saying that people want you to do good, but when they see you do better than what they could have done, that's when the bitterness comes. That's where the jealousy comes, where the insecurity comes, right? And that's how I feel about that. So
yeah, those things are all there, but don't forget one of the big ones. They want Michael Jordan to keep being on the top spot.
Yeah.
It's not really Michael Jordan fans versus LeBron James fans. No. It's Michael Jordan fans versus anyone who's a threat to their guy.
Yeah.
If it's not LeBron James, it used to be Kobe Bryant fans. I've seen it become Michael Jordan fans versus Steph Curry fans. They tear down Giannis. They'll tear down Kevin Durant. They'll tear down Kawhi Leonard. They'll tear down this new guy coming in. Is he the next Michael Jordan? They'll tear him down too. There's a bunch of people. Oh, Larry Bird had a super team. Oh, Magic Johnson had a super team. Oh, Kareem couldn't win without Magic. Oh, John Stockton and Karl Malone never won a ring. There's a million examples. It's them tearing down anyone. LeBron's sexual. Oh, he's a racist. Oh, this guy's a liberal. Oh, this guy hates America. Oh, this guy is why this new generation sucks. Oh, this guy is not an expert, and so on. It's always tearing down everyone. They'll even tear down their own era if it helps Michael Jordan. Well, Dominic Wilkins never won a ring. Well, you know what? David Robinson, he won that season over the shortened season. Oh, you know what? George Gervin, man, you know what? He wasn't even that good. Like, he played in a time where his era was soft and all that. NBA. Every era sucks. The 40s suck. The 50s suck.
Yeah.
The 60s suck. The 70s suck. Now, we're going to skip over the 80s and 90s. We'll get back to that. When Michael Jordan left, oh, look, the ratings are down. Look, nobody cares about the NBA anymore. It's not popular, and so on. So now the 2000s suck. Oh, they call foul all the time. Oh, they just shoot threes. Oh, they just stand around and they don't, and so on. So now the 2010 suck. And, of course, we know today's NBA sucks. And the only era they like are the 1980s and 1990s. Take a guess why. And then even in that era, they go, that's the golden time, the toughest time, the best time, the most competitive time. And then even in that era, if someone is a threat to their lover, Michael Jordan, they will tear that person down. I've heard them tear down Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and so on.
Yeah.
It's all Michael Jordan, and that's all there is to it.
Okay. It's the thing that I'll mention is, like, controlling the narrative is paramount to someone wanting to stay at the top. It has nothing to do with what they can do on the court, on the field, or whatever, right? That's how I always say this, no one is insurpassable, this is how I feel. I feel like Michael Jackson fans are kind of like what you're describing, where, again, they'll say the same exact thing. Oh, this guy can't be better than MJ. He will never be this. No, and I'm like, that's not how it works. Time goes on. Progress goes on.
See, this with Michael Jackson, there's no way to prove or disprove it because you can't prove who's a better dancer or singer or, who's more entertaining. There's no way to prove or disprove that. But you can definitely prove people are better than Michael Jordan.
Yeah. It's one of those things it's funny because do you listen to The Weeknd?
Cut out. Say it again.
Do you listen? There's this artist from Canada. He's really pop. He's been popular for the last 15 years. The Weeknd. Have you listened to him?
Yeah, no, I heard. Yeah.
Okay. Right when he came out, people was cool with him and all that. And then when After Hours comes out, right, this is when really he really make that massive leap to megastar. Right, he's already a superstar. I'm turning to this omnipresent megastar. And I kid you not. When people start throwing his name around with Michael Jackson, people got upset. They're like, nah, we're not allowing this. I'm like, why not? Right? Why not?
There is some logic, though, because Michael Jackson is more popular. He made more money. He did a lot of things like singing and dancing. It's pretty unique if you've seen him dance and sing. It's pretty unique and all that. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. It's kind of like LeBron James, right? If LeBron James is so popular for so long, and then some new guy comes along and he didn't go to that level, some people may question it, but that doesn't mean they have to like tear down the guy and act like the guy never has a chance. See, some of these topics, there's no right or wrong. Remember I was going back earlier? Guesses, beliefs, assumptions, opinions.
Yeah.
So what you could do is you could say who sold more records, or you could say who's more well known. I can assure you, there's a lot of people who have no idea who The Weeknd is, but everyone knows who Michael Jackson is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I bring him up because, again, it's like...
Listen, go ask Michael Jordan fans, do you know who The Weeknd is? A lot of them don't even know who he is. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
everything in the 1980s and 1990s was better. Nintendo, video games, Sega, video games was better back then. The NBA was better back then. Rap music was better back then, and so on. They think like almost everything was better back then.
It's funny you mention that, and then you bring up the fact that, like, in the 80s, like, politically, was Reagan, right? But for some reason, like, when people sort of talk about that decade, they romanticize it, they leave him out. Or they use him as, like, look how great he was. Like, it does not make any sense to me.
Like I talked about, man, sometimes they'll play videos on my page, people from their time that they liked, and they had no idea the person thought this. Like, in their mind, I've had Michael Jordan fans not just tell me, tell others, like, they really believe in their head that all the Hall of Famers, or most of the Hall of Famers, picked Michael Jordan as the number one NBA player of all time. And then they'll play my videos, and they're, like, surprised. And see, these people are zombies. They're cult members. So they try to figure out a way to reason. Oh, you know what? Oh, he's just saying that now because he's jealous. Oh, Michael Jordan beat him. Oh, you know what? You weren't saying that when you were playing against Michael Jordan and so on. They come up with things to try to explain it away. I'll give you a great example. These people love to tell you all the time that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson picked Michael Jordan as greatest. Now what? Hey, you think they're better than Michael Jordan? Well, they picked Michael Jordan. And then I'll show them tape. Okay, well, here they're clearly not saying Michael Jordan. Oh, that was before Michael Jordan was in his prime. Oh, okay. Well, here's another one when Michael Jordan was in his prime. Oh, you know what? They probably changed their mind. Okay, here's another one where they changed their mind. And it becomes, oh, you know what? They're just saying, they don't really mean that. Like, it's hard for these zombies, cult members to understand. I'll even give you a more funnier one. You ever heard that one where they go, Larry Bird called Michael Jordan God or something like that?
Yeah.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'll give you a great example. Now, there's a million problems with this argument. Their argument basically goes, hey, Larry Bird picks Michael Jordan as the number one NBA player of all time. And there's a million problems with that argument. I won't go over the list. I made a video on this. I'll just give you one example. He said that in 1986. In the same year, same playoffs, 1986, same postseason, he said, Magic Johnson is the greatest NBA player I've ever seen. I'll show that now. So when someone tells me Larry Bird said that about Michael Jordan, I'll play them that tape. And then they'll go, whatever excuse, okay? Then they'll say something like, well, that was 1986. Michael Jordan was only in the league for 3 years. Okay, fine. You want to go down that road? A few years later, Larry Bird said again that basically Magic Johnson is the greatest NBA player I've ever seen. I'll show them that clip. And they'll go, this is interesting, but they still won't budge. They'll come up with some excuse. Yeah. And then they'll go, you know what? He didn't really mean that. So then I'll show them another clip years later. Larry Bird basically said again, Magic Johnson is the number one NBA player I've ever seen. And they still cannot take it in. They are the flat earthers of the NBA world. Yeah. These people are the NASA never went to the moon people of the NBA world.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing, like, I would say is that a lot of them, I think quite a few of them are kind of like, they use, like, again, as I always say, like, toxic masculinity is kind of, again, underplayed in these types of conversations, where they're sort of like, they're kind of like, how can I say this? They're trying to fill something inside them that's not there, right? And they look at someone like, again, Michael Jordan, right? And they say, okay, this guy is this, that, and whatever. And they base their whole personality on him. They project everything onto him, right? And he's not the only one. Now, I mentioned Michael Jackson, but I also mentioned someone like Kendrick Lamar. I mentioned someone like, I even say someone like Cat Williams. Like, I love Cat Williams, right? But this weird worship of him. Like every time he does an interview, everything that he says is the gospel. Is like, what? Like, I like the guy, I love the guy, but like, come on, like that's just this is stupid.
Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, anyone out there listening, if you don't agree with me, there's only probably only two reasons. At least one of these two. Either you just don't know the information about them, because if you knew it, there's no way you could disagree. Well, I shouldn't say no way, but you probably wouldn't disagree. Or the second reason you don't agree is because you're a Michael Jordan fan yourself. So anyone listening, if you don't agree, I'm guessing it's one of these things or both of these things. Okay. And if you disagree, prove it. Prove to me prove it, folks. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. All you gotta do is prove something. Don't tell me what you know. Prove to me what you know is true. Okay. Don't tell me what you believe. Prove to me that what you believe is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael Jordan has 6 rings, and he played the number 1 NBA of all time.
Okay. All right. So I want to sort of pivot this to something else. Do you watch because I know you watch again basketball and baseball, but do you watch any other sport besides those two?
I pay attention to other sports. Like over the years, I'll pay attention to boxing, for example.
Okay.
Just like anyone else, you pay attention to headlines and other things. You know. Sometimes I'll get really into pool tables. I love pool. I shoot pool a lot.
Okay.
I watch a lot of pool matches on YouTube. That's one of the great things about YouTube, right? Oh, so many matches on so many sports right there.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of off and on, but I'm getting back into the last few years of wrestling.
Okay.
I know that's not considered a sport, but I'm going to call it a sport for many reasons.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else was there? Boxing.
You don't want soccer?
I never really got into soccer.
You should, man.
No, there have been some matches where I was like, oh, I want to play this match. Like a few matches over the years, but I never really got into it. There's only so much time you can spend on every sport, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. What music have you been listening to?
Music?
Yeah, music. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I grew up with rap and hip hop, but that wasn't the only music I grew up with. I also, there's not going to be any differences here. I like the same mainstream music everyone else, like rap, hip hop, rock. I don't know. Sometimes when you want some old stuff, you'll play some 1980s disco, some songs from the days of Frank Sinatra. Those old days when it was like black and white movies.
You don't listen to electronic music?
There are music that I like that's considered electronic, but I'm not like, if there's a genre like, hey, these are electronic artists, like underground stuff. I never really got into underground stuff.
Okay.
But mainstream music, I'm gonna probably know. As you get older, right, you start to learn more about music. Like, well, hey, classic rock was pretty good. Hey, here's a new genre, bluegrass. I actually started liking some bluegrass songs, and then I found out about old Irish songs are really nice. So you start learning more about music. I like all kinds of music, but if you want to know, when it comes to what most of America likes, same stuff everyone else: rap, hip hop, rock. I don't know, some dance music also. Yes, not some, but a lot of dance music.
Okay.
And so on. Basically, what's popular on the radio, I'm probably going to like.
Okay.
I shouldn't say probably because a lot of bad stuff is on the radio. Okay, how about this? Let me change it. A lot of songs that are popular I like, and some songs that are popular I don't like. I just like most people, right?
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. What movies or directors that you like watching?
So many, man. I actually starting to think that Steven Spielberg is kind of overrated. I've noticed some things about his movies that kind of make it overrated. But there's no particular this director, I'm going to like every movie he makes. I got to put in every movie he makes. No. I think Quentin Tarantino is overrated. I think it depends on the movie, right? Sometimes a good director will make a good movie. Sometimes he'll make a bad movie, right? So yeah. I don't have any director that's I'm a fan of all his movies.
Okay. Have you watched or heard of Tron or Tron Legacy, the franchise in general?
I've heard of it. I don't think I ever saw it from start to finish, the old one or the new one.
Both.
Yeah, no, never.
Okay.
There's a lot of mainstream stuff I didn't get into. I never got into Star Wars. I didn't get into the Lord of the Rings. I actually think the Lord of the Rings are overrated too.
Okay.
I never saw one Harry Potter movie from start to finish. A lot of the action comic hero movies I haven't seen. Because I know it's the same old shit over and over, right?
Yeah.
It's the same old thing. it's nice. When I do put them on, they're always the action comic movies. They're usually pretty good. But it's like every time they have an action comic movie, I'm not going to be like, oh man, I got to go put that one on because they're pretty much all the same.
Yeah.
And they don't even go by the original story. They always change it up.
Yeah.
Like if they put the original way, maybe I'd be more into it.
Okay.
But they changed. Lord of the Rings was changed. I assume Harry Potter was changed. And then I found out what was the movie that came out a few years ago? Oh crap. I think it was the Batman. Yeah, Batman.
The Batman.
I was like, okay, hey, yeah. This was the last one, I think, 2018 or something?
2022.
2022, right. So I thought, okay, maybe this one's the more serious one. Maybe this is the original one. And I was like, hey, this is pretty good. I watched it, all right. And I found out by one of my subscribers this was not the original way it was. I was like, oh, that messed up a lot of it. Because they're not making it the way it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies copy each other. I learned a while ago, a long time ago, a lot of movies that you like that are really popular, you'll be surprised they already made it earlier. They're just redoing it. They didn't even know this.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies, they kind of, I don't know if they do it intentionally or unintentionally, they make it seem like it's new and different, but it's not. I'll give you a great example, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Everyone likes Jurassic Park. I like Jurassic Park. It's great. But if you really think about it, it's not really a straight-up dinosaur movie. It's a zombie movie.
Yeah.
What do I mean by a zombie?
Oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Right. So you get it. There are
I understand. I definitely understand what you're saying.
Right. They're all hiding, or they pop out of nowhere to scare you.
Yeah.
In other words, there's the eaters and eatees. Okay.
Yeah.
The people who want to have some food, the people who don't want to the people who don't want to be food, and it gets made in different ways, and people think it's different, but it's not. A lot of them are just the same old things, just rehashed in a different way.
Okay.
And maybe you could say, look, as you get older, things change. Okay. But, I mean, it's like so obvious. Like it's the same old stuff over and over and over. Like, okay, how many times, if I told you there was a movie where some teenagers go out into the woods and they're all partying, getting drunk, and one of them's like really responsible, and one of them's really stupid, and then they separate themselves, and then they hear sounds in the dark. And
it's a horror, yeah.
And then the killer pops up. The killer apparently can be anywhere, go anywhere, can't be found, and makes big noises when he comes out of nowhere. Like and like basically most of them get killed. You wouldn't even know what to call that movie because there's so many like that. Can you guess which movie that is? Because there's so many like that.
Yeah, no.
It's either So they make a lot of the same old stuff over and over.
Yeah.
But I love movies. By the way, I love movies.
Okay, interesting. There's a movie that's coming out. You must know who Martin Wayans is, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. There's a movie that's coming out that's starring him and this other guy, and it's being produced by Jordan Peele. You must know who Jordan Peele is, right?
Yeah, I think I saw that Palmdale movie he had, like Alien King. What an overrated, boring movie that was. You know the monkey movie where it was like in the middle of nowhere?
Oh, yeah. It's called Him. Okay, this new movie's called Him. And it's a sports horror movie. And the trailers are something. I think it's different enough that I think you would like it. But obviously it's obviously they're not gonna go again, it's just I'm excited for that movie. Really.
I can tell you a lot of trailers make a movie look good and the movie's garbage.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm hopeful, man. Like I love Martin Wayans. I love the Justin Tipping. He did this other movie like a couple of years ago. It's called Kicks. I really love that one. So I'm confident, right? But I don't know. You never know with these things, right?
Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good. No, it could be.
Yeah.
But just whenever you watch a movie, just ask yourself some questions. Do people, the way they're acting, do they really act like that in real life? And is something happening here that happens in a lot of movies? Like when aliens attack, okay, and they're going after the Earthlings. Is it really an alien movie, or is it another eater and eating movie?
Yeah.
Or like if there's I know you could say, well, look, there's only so many stories. Like if you have a love story, yeah, okay, at some point all the love stories are going to be similar. That's true, but that's different. There really is love. It's similar situations. You can relate and all that. But they make a lot of the movies that are the same. Like how come in most action movies, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of them, why is there always a beautiful teenage girl who gets kidnapped? And the dad or like the husband has to go after her? How come you don't get as many of like a handsome teenage guy getting kidnapped and then like the mother going after him? or dad going after him. Why on TV shows? How come in so many comedy shows, it's always, okay, a husband and a wife, and then a son who's like a little baby, and then like a hot teenage girl. You know what I mean? Like why is it always the same thing over and over? Or like, okay, there's a couple in one house, and then they have another couple in another house, and they're kind of rivals. They get along, but then there's issues between them, like, hey, John, welcome home. Hey, what did Billy do to school today? Well, Billy's being bullied by some of his classmates. Oh, I'll go have a talk with him. Yeah, you're a good father. All of a sudden, the fake audience laugh track is laughing. There's nobody in the audience. The laugh track is fake. It's not even a real audience. It's a fake laugh track,
Yeah.
It's just the same
Yeah,
thing.
I was going to ask you about, actually, what are some TV shows that you really like?
I think Family Guy is funny.
Okay.
But, to be honest, before I answer that, I don't watch TV shows as much as I used to. I put on the internet a lot. But when I do watch some TV shows, I thought Family Guy was funny.
Okay.
Let's see here. I saw a couple years ago when they redid Karate Kid. I thought the first season or two.
Cobra Kai?
Yeah, Cobra Kai. I thought that was good.
Okay.
I only watched the first one or two seasons. I didn't watch after that, but it was good.
Okay.
The old show, I Love Lucy, I thought that was good,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to give you answers that are that different from everyone else. I'm going to give the same old answers, basically. But yeah, man, like...
Have you seen Stranger Things?
Which one?
Stranger
Things? I think so, yeah. I think I saw that. I don't remember too much about it.
Man, the last season's coming up in a couple months. I mean...
I try not to get into series like that because now you're going to think I'm weird if you don't think I'm weird already. I feel like they just purposely make it like a soap opera. Like, we'll give them a half hour, 1 hour to give them a taste, and then we're going to tease them to, I got to put episode 2. I got to put episode 3. When I just feel like when they do that, they're making it purposely addicting. So it kind of takes away from the fun. Like, I want it to feel organic, like natural. Like, hey, it really is good. I don't want to feel like, oh, they purposely made it like that. Because I know it's fake, and it takes away from the fun.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. There's, again, like, this is show, for God's... You like, are you to, like, watching, like, I know you mentioned Family Guy, but are you to watching, like, cartoons and stuff?
Yeah, sometimes if it's good. Like, The Simpsons used to be funny. I don't put it on as much anymore.
Have you seen Teen Titans?
I think so. I haven't seen it that much. I don't remember.
Okay. That's a show that's, like, again, like you said, like, that's a show that's soap opera, but I think it earns it because the plot and the writing's like really good, and also like there's a lot of like twists that you don't really see. Do you read comics?
Not anymore. No, I never really got into comics, never really. But I understand the appeal. I just never got into it. A lot of things, man. Like if I'm not like watching certain sports or watching certain TV shows or watching certain movies and all that, sometimes one of the reasons is it's just time, right? Like, because of the internet, you got so much free, good, informative, entertaining things. So it's like, okay, well, I don't want to put a TV show on. I don't even have a TV in my room. I used to have a TV. Now I don't because I usually go on the internet. Yeah. And then, of course, when you have YouTube pages, you're spending time building up those pages. And, I go on people's programs and so on. There's only so much time you're going to spend, right, on TV and internet and then radio and all that. There's only so much time. So sometimes if you're like, wow, he's not into that TV show, or he's not into that movie, or he's not into that topic or whatever, it's just part of the reason. Part of it is just time. There's only so much time you're going to spend on all these things,
Okay.
Like, I'd rather go play basketball than go watch, like, a random game between the Atlanta Hawks and the Milwaukee Bucks,
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time.
Okay. All right. What is a food that you like to eat?
Oh man, I love food, man. Just so you know, I don't eat meat. I'm vegetarian, and I try not to eat anything that comes from an animal.
Yeah.
But I like all the same foods everyone else likes: burritos, pizzas, spaghetti. I actually like a lot of Indian food too, by the way. Great stuff. So there's no differences here, man. I'm like the same food that you like.
Okay.
If it's tasty, it's tasty. I try not to buy animal stuff. Go find out what they do to animals.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Who is the most famous person that said, man, I love your work, I like your channel?
Yes. That's tough to say who is the most famous. I can give you some names.
Okay.
I know Scottie Pippen emailed me. He liked it.
What?
Agent liked it. Yeah. I always wondered if Scottie Pippen, because the last couple of years he's changed his takes. He's had a lot of takes where he questions Michael Jordan and all that. Like, I remember, I always wonder, I'm not saying this happened. I'm just wondering if part of the reason he changed his takes because he was influenced by my page. Because he used to never say the things he said.
Yeah.
The things he's been saying, like Michael Jordan, he didn't win by himself. It's the media elevates Michael Jordan, or Michael Jordan is not a good teammate, and so on. He used to never say these things. And then when he liked my page, I noticed, it could be a coincidence, or maybe he always thought these things, but he never brought it up as much in the media, but I always wondered, did he start having these takes because he was influenced by my page? Because my page, I bring up these takes. I brought these takes so many times. There's a lot of people who emailed me and messaged me that liked it. I forgot his name, former Celtics player. What was his name? He has his own program. I forgot. I think he won Finals MVP in the 1980s. Well, anyway, I forgot his name. He liked it too. He has his own program. Who else? Let's see here. John Stockton has given me nice emails. Quite a few people have sent me some nice emails.
Damn, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, who was your celebrity crush growing up, or now, or whatever?
Yeah, I can't say growing up because I get you're gonna have an idea of my age and all that. But man, I'm like every guy, man. I think they're all beautiful, pretty much. I want them all.
Alright.
I love girls, man. Girls. If there's anything, what's more beautiful than a girl, right?
Yeah. Alright.
By the way, for you Michael Jordan fans listening, I also like the girls from your time, like Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Michael Jordan fans? 1980s, 1990s.
Alright. Interesting. What's the future of your channel? Like, are you just going to keep doing this till, a certain point? Are you going to stop? Whatever, maybe transition to something else?
No. I'm planning to keep doing the same things. I'm hoping as it gets more popular that I can actually get interviews with some famous people. It's hard to get those interviews. I've seen a lot of pages who are less popular than mine, and they get the interviews. I don't know how they do it. Maybe I'm not putting enough effort. I don't really contact a lot of them. I'm not on Twitter. Maybe if I put more effort, I'll get those interviews. But I'd like to have... I'd like the page to keep growing. I'd like to keep making money. I'd like to entertain and inform people. I want people to feel like it's a nice page and they're a fan of my page. I'd like to have some famous people on. I'd like to have some non-famous people on. I'd like to just keep the YouTube page overall going.
Okay. So we're heading towards the end of the interview, and we're going to be doing this. Have you heard of Drink Champs?
Drink Champs?
Drink Champs. They're like this hip hop podcast. Have you heard of them?
I don't think so.
Okay, so they do this thing where they do this Q&A thing where I give you like two people or two franchises or whatever, and you have to pick either or. The difference is we're not drinking. You can't say both. You can't say neither. And also, if you want to give a reason or a story why you picked that choice, you're free to do so. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, open mind. But I want to give you credit, man. For everyone listening, this guy is a great interviewer. He asks really great questions. He's nice. He gives the people plenty of time to give an answer. He doesn't have like a lot of strict rules. And he brings up topics that I think people like. I hope your page does well. And actually a friendly compliment to you. I think your page might even do better, man, if you put do these interviews live on YouTube. And maybe if you I
feel like when I reach a certain milestone, I think I'll start doing it. It's just, again, it's timing, right? At some point.
I hope you don't mind me giving you compliments and suggestion,
Yeah, I appreciate it, for sure.
I also think, by the way, your page might be more popular because I was going to your page. I noticed maybe your thumbnails. Maybe you have to change some of your thumbnails. Thumbnails can make a difference then. That might help you. Maybe the titles, but I'm not sure because some of the videos by your titles, I wasn't sure what it was about.
Okay.
I'm saying this in a positive way, not in a negative way. In other words, I think your page could be popular. You just, there's no guarantee, but if you want to try switching up some things, you never know, man. You might get more more known.
Okay. Can we begin?
Yeah, sure. I hope you don't mind me giving you compliments.
All right, it's all cool, man. It's all cool, man. I appreciate it. Okay.
So the rules are, you can't say. What were the rules again? Just to make sure.
You can't say both, and you can't say neither.
Okay. So we got the rules, all right. This is like F, marry, kill, right?
Okay. All right. Okay, let's go. Jokic or Shaq?
Well, since we can't say both or neither, we got to pick one. We have to pick one.
You have to pick one.
Well, then, if we have to pick one, I'm going to pick Shaq.
You have to pick one, yes.
But you know what? No, I take that back. Man, I don't know, man. Well, can we say I don't know?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I don't know.
All right.
I really don't.
Okay.
They're both better than Michael Jordan.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. They really are.
Okay.
I'm making a joke.
All right. Trae Young or Jalen Brunson?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think I'm going to be boring for this segment, man.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Marvel or DC?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know how anyone would pick that one. I mean, I guess you can go by your favorites or who you grew up with, but they're both great, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like asking a Michael Jordan fan, Gatorade or Hanes underwear?
Okay.
Actually, no, I don't want to compare myself to a Michael Jordan fan. Bad example.
All right. Clips or Mobb Deep?
That one I really don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Wu-Tang Clan or Tribe Called Quest?
I'm not a fan of either one. I thought Wu-Tang was overrated. A lot of... Are we allowed to give details like this or just...
Yeah, you're allowed.
Okay, yeah. Wu-Tang I thought was boring. Some of the music was depressing. I don't think Wu-Tang is as big as people make it seem like. I think a lot of people who are rap fans don't know many of Wu-Tang songs. They might know about Cream, Cash Rules Everything Around Me, Cream, Get the Money, Dollar Dollar Bill, y'all. They might know, some main ones.
Yeah.
They don't know most of Wu-Tang's songs. And same thing with Tribe Called Quest. But at least with a Tribe Called Quest, from what I know about them, I don't know too much about them, they have some positive rap.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess Wu-Tang does too. I'm assuming Wu-Tang does too. But anyway, Wu-Tang is overrated, definitely. And I think Tribe Called Quest is probably overrated because some people elevate them so much when most people don't know who they are. Most people don't know many songs by a Tribe Called Quest. For me, I'm not a fan of it. I never got into either one of them that much. So,
okay.
You said we can't pick neither, so I'm going to pick I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Tupac or Biggie?
Well, Tupac.
Okay.
You know what? What's the criteria? Okay, so let's see here. Tupac was in the game as a famous rapper probably longer, and I think he has more popular songs. So I would say by that logic, Tupac, but, Biggie did have some good ones. I guess Tupac, but I really don't care, to be honest.
Okay.
You know what? I guess I don't know, but if you have to have one just for fun, I guess I'll pick a Tupac. I really don't know, and I really don't care.
Okay. DMX or Jadakiss?
I guess DMX.
Okay.
That one I'll give you one, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Robert De Niro or Al Pacino?
I don't really pick one over the other. Maybe Robert De Niro, but I don't really have one that's better than the other.
Okay.
Robert De Niro? I don't know.
Okay. Christopher Nolan or Stanley Kubrick?
It's tough, man. That's just two different, right? Actor and director. I guess Stanley Kubrick, but he made some garbage movies, to be honest. I think some of his movies were overrated, so I guess I'll go with Christopher Nolan. Tough question, man.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I don't know, man. I guess. All right. I guess there's probably more Christopher Nolan movies that I like than Stanley Kubrick, but I guess I'll go with Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
All right, so we picked another one. All right.
Yeah. Spielberg or Scorsese?
That's a tough one, man. Great question, man. Great question. This is tough. Well, both are good. Both have good movies. I know lately I've been thinking Steven Spielberg, like I told you earlier, he has some overrated movie, or I think he's overrated. I guess I'll go with Scorsese's, but no, actually, honestly, I don't know.
Okay. Kanye
Michael Jordan,
West.
1980s, or Michael Jordan, 1990s? No, go ahead.
Okay. Kanye West or Kendrick Lamar?
Neither. Oh, I can't say neither, huh? Nah, I think they're both. I mean, Kanye is a weirdo. You know what? Just for Kanye being an idiot and a weirdo, I'll go with Kendrick Lamar, but I really don't care, to be honest.
Okay. Drake or Lil Wayne?
I'm not really a fan of either one that much. I don't know. I guess Lil Wayne, because Drake, a lot of his songs are like from this like slow rap era, and Lil Wayne has a little more that was because he's older, right?
Yeah.
I think. No, maybe he's not older actually. No, but he's been in the game longer, I think.
Yeah, Wayne's been in
so
the game.
He's had more. Yeah, so he has more beats that are not slow and boring. I think like they both have slow, boring beats like most rappers. But because Drake is in an era where a lot of slow rap is popular, and I'm not into the slow rap songs that all sound the same.
Yeah.
So I guess on that level, I'll go with Lil Wayne because he has some upbeat stuff you could bump to and all that. But to be honest, I really don't care, honestly.
Okay. 50 Cent or T.I.?
I guess 50 Cent.
Okay. Megan Fox or Millie Bobby
and I really
Brown?
don't care, but huh?
Megan Fox or Millie Bobby Brown?
Women, that's a tough one. They're not even like exactly my favorite types. They're both beautiful. I mean, I guess Megan Fox. Oh, actually, what? Millie Bobby? You said Millie Bobby Brown, right?
Millie Bobby Brown, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Okay. Alright, okay. Mission Impossible or Star Wars?
I never saw. I don't think I ever saw one Mission Impossible from start to finish, or if I did, it was part one. Star Wars, I saw like I think I got it online when I was a kid. I don't even remember it that much, so I don't know. Okay. I assume Star Wars because it's more famous and more popular, but I really don't know. Don't care.
Okay.
I feel like I'm letting you down, man. I really don't care about a lot of these, you know?
Okay. That's fine. It's fine. Beyonce or Prince?
Oh, I'm going to go with the girl, Beyonce.
Okay.
I'm not going to be with the girl, man. I'm going to be with Prince.
Okay. Michael Jackson or Frank Sinatra?
Oh, that's tough, man. That is tough. I guess, yeah, to be fair, it probably should be Michael Jackson. But I love a lot of Frank Sinatra songs. I sing a lot of his songs. I sing a lot of his songs. I'll go on Discord sometimes, those karaoke rooms, and I'll start singing Frank Sinatra songs. So It depends, but if you just say, hey, you know what? No, I'm not going to pick either one. I don't know.
Okay. Future or Young Thug?
I'm not into the whole ranking thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you're asking. Okay, anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Future or Young Thug?
I don't care.
Okay. Okay.
Probably most of your questions are going to be I don't care.
Rackham or KRS-One?
I don't care.
Okay. All right. Kawhi Leonard or Kevin Durant?
I guess Kevin Durant.
Okay.
He's a better player.
Okay. Lamar Jackson or Drew Brees?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't even get the comparison.
Okay. Tim Duncan or Kobe?
Well, Tim Duncan.
Okay. Steph Curry or Hakeem Olajuwon?
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay.
I'm assuming you mean who's a better player. So I'm picking Tim Duncan and Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay. Kareem or Bill Russell?
There's no way. There's no way to. I know you said I don't know. Don't say I don't know. So I'll just say it different. There's no way to know that one.
Okay. Shohei Ohtani or Barry Bonds?
Barry Bonds. I think Shohei Ohtani is overrated.
Okay.
There's some kind of. I don't want to say hysteria, But you look at his numbers, and they're not like that amazing. There's been plenty of people who put up great numbers. Now, yeah, he's a pitcher, sure. But there's been some other pitchers who pitched pretty good, too.
Okay. Mike Trout or Bryce Harper?
I think Mike Trout, I got to check the numbers again. I don't know for sure. I think Mike Trout is a better player. I'm just not sure.
Okay. Jose Bautista or Kyle Schwarber?
I don't know.
Okay. Justin Verlander or Clayton Kershaw?
To be fair to Justin, I got to check his numbers again, so I don't know.
Okay.
I'm probably going to pick Clayton Kershaw.
Okay.
I just don't know.
Okay.
Michael Jordan's first three-peat or Michael Jordan's second three-peat?
I'm not gonna ask that. Okay. Cat Williams or Richard Pryor?
I'm not going to guess either one of them. I don't know.
Okay. Dave Chappelle or George Carlin?
Who was the second one?
Dave Chappelle or George Carlin?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. Dave Chappelle was probably more funnier, but George Carlin made a lot of good points, so I don't know.
Okay. Christopher Hitchens or Richard Dawkins?
Oh, that's definitely I don't know. I guess Richard Dawkins would be more respectful.
Okay.
He's a little bit more nicer, so in that sense, him. But it's tough to pick one over the other because they do two different kind of things,
Yeah.
So I guess Richard Dawkins because he's more respectful.
Okay. Neil deGrasse Tyson or Carl Sagan?
I actually lost respect for Neil deGrasse Tyson for a couple of reasons, or at least one reason. So I'm going to go with Carl Sagan, even though I don't even know that much about Carl Sagan, but I'm going to pick him.
Can you elaborate on the Tyson thing? Because I'm actually interested in...
Yeah, okay. Just 1 second. Hold on. Let me... hold on. You can go whenever you like. Okay. So, Neil deGrasse Tyson, I'll tell you a couple of things he did. I lost a lot of respect for him, actually. This is a guy who will tell people all the time, hey, go by facts, okay? Don't act like you're right and wrong, or you're right and someone's wrong because of opinion. And when you have a debate with someone, you don't have to spend more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Here are the facts. If they accept it, there it is. If they don't, why are you spending more time? They're just denying facts. I'm not saying these are his exact words, right? But he says things like that.
Yeah.
He'll even say, when they ask him on Twitter, hey, what do you think about this movie? He's like, I don't want to give my opinion, because he's trying to get people to think, go by facts. And he'll say things like, hey, these people who say they're abducted by aliens, do they ever bring any proof? Show me the proof. If you show the proof, show something. They're going to convince people that. Okay. And overall, I'm sure he's one of those scientists that will say, look, you could use science to explain why it's wrong to do bad things. Like some people will say, well, if you don't believe in God, how do you know something's right or wrong? Who's to say? I'm sure he's one guy who will say, well, science will say this causes pain. Causes suffering. Don't do this. It's not necessary, and so on. And if he doesn't say those things, he doesn't question other scientists who says those things. So I'm guessing he thinks like this. Okay, so all good. Everything is good. He was asked something to the effect, how do you feel about what they do to animals? Like the torturing and the killing, it's not necessary. And all of a sudden, everything he says goes out the window. All the examples I gave you, he's not applying. And he says something like, well, I think he said something like, well, you eat a plant. Plant is life. Or like other animals eat each other. So now all of a sudden, he's not going by science. He's not going by facts. He's not using science to explain why something horrible is horrible, like something wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
And I could give you more examples, but you get the point.
Yeah.
He's just going by whatever he wants.
All right.
And people have contacted him. They've contacted him about this. And he does not follow up. It's like, what happened to the guy? Remember I told you earlier, go by facts and be consistent?
Yeah.
He's not going by facts and he's not being consistent.
Okay. I understand how you feel, but thanks. That was a very interesting answer. Okay. GTA. Okay. All right. GTA or Last of Us?
Oh, don't know.
Okay. Stranger Things or Game of Thrones?
I don't know.
Okay. Who's worse, Trump or Reagan?
Oh, Trump. Okay. Well, they're both pretty bad, but probably Donald Trump.
Okay.
I've come to the conclusion Republicans are worse than Democrats. So they're all pretty much ridiculous, but I don't know as much about Ronald Reagan. I know a lot about Donald Trump. And I'm assuming Ronald Reagan is probably not going to be as questionable as Donald Trump, so I'm going to assume Donald Trump.
Okay. Who's worse, Diddy or Suge Knight?
I have no evidence that Diddy is worse. I'm still confused at why they're acting like he's so bad. I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he did everything good. I'm saying, what did he do in particular that was so bad? So, Suge Knight, I think, went to jail.
Yeah.
For not because he had some sex party. He did horrible things.
Yeah.
Suge Knight, if what he did was true, then Suge Knight is worse.
Okay.
You don't want to know my take on some topics, man. If you did, you might hang up on me. You might never have me on your show again.
Oh, okay. Second last one. Cookies or cakes?
Both.
Okay.
Oh, you can't say both.
You can't say
both.
both.
Then I don't know.
Okay. All right. Last one. Will Ferrell or Seth Rogen?
For some reason, Seth Rogen, he's the guy from the short guy, right? Red hair?
Yeah. He's not the red hair guy. He's like the chubby guy with he has wavy hair or something like that. He wears glasses.
I know who he is. For some reason, I just can't remember right now who Seth Rogen is. I know who he is. I've heard the name. I just forgot. Can you name me something he was in?
Seth Rogen was in a lot of stuff. He's in this movie with Zac Efron called Neighbors. I don't know if that is.
Yeah. So
okay.
Then I guess I don't know.
All right. Okay. Bonus one: Rihanna or Britney Spears?
Britney Spears.
Okay.
I'm going by looks.
Okay. Second bonus one: Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber?
Jeez. Guess Justin Timberlake, and I'm not going by looks.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's the end of the interview. I'm really glad you came on. You showed out. I know we had technical difficulties before, but I'm glad that we got this conversation in order in session. I'm really glad you came on.
Thank you very much, and I mean this. I appreciate it. For having me on. You're always welcome on my show, and if you ever want me on your show again, let me know.
Okay.
And if you go on my show, you can plug your page as many times as you like. I really appreciate. You were very nice.
Thank you.
I respect it.
Have a nice day.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Bye. So that's another episode of the Renegade Podcast. Hope you guys enjoy. Same way to this one, putting this one together. Bye.